Hello and welcome back to another History Rewatched episode. It's an in-depth study this week and it's been a long time since I've done an episode, mainly Christmas break and Christmas as a whole has taken over. I've got A-levels going on, I'm trying to still settle in, which is taking a lot longer than I expected, but after almost a month off we have been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes and I cannot wait to kick back into the routine of once every week. Now this is the last in-depth study for Hitler, How Did He Do It? And we'll take a bit of a break off on the in-depth studies to find a new topic and to choose the different topics as well. But that does not mean that there will be an episode every fortnight. We will still be there every single week with Learn About History episodes, and we are also still trying to brew up that interview. With schooling and stuff like that, it's been very difficult to set dates and stuff like that, but I promise you it is coming and it will be good. It's just taking a bit longer than expected. But no need to say any more. Let's jump straight into Hitler, How Did He Do It? So, Happy New Year. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and let's jump straight in. Okay, so let's finish this series off. We're going to be looking at 1929 to 1933. Now, this isn't exactly a long period, considering it's only 4 years. On last episode, we covered about 7 episodes from 1921 to 1928. But there is kind of a lot going on. I don't know whether you know, in 1929, the Wall Street crash. So, the Wall Street crash caused not only the Great Depression in America, which ruined the economy, ruined America, ruined American lives and the livelihood for loads of people. Some GCSE English courses cover the book which is set in the Great Depression, and so that kind of shows ranch work, stuff like that. So it is kind of, you do see a lot of effects from it and you see a lot of publicity about it after the event, looking back at it, and it is a really big event. But it's not only in America, it was also seen to be ruining countries all over the world. Now the USA during this period after the First World War was what I would describe as a bank for countries in Europe and surrounding places. The USA gave loans out to not only Germany, as you know, during 1924, and in 1929 there was another loan period which was going to start happening. It was in agreement, but got cut off. But during this period they were a bank. Loans were given out to not only Germany, but when the Wall Street crash occurred, the USA demanded and needed everyone who had loans to pay them back, as they didn't have the economy to keep. They needed money back, basically, to rebuild their economy, and without that money they're losing out, basically. This problem ruined the economy for Germany, pulling back all the progress that they had built up. It seemed like they were going really well. 1921 to 1928, the golden years of Germany, with huge progress being made, and as soon as you get to 1929, it's like just taking all of that away because they don't have the economy for it anymore. They were relying on the USA, and as soon as the USA couldn't do that, it lost. So it brought back all the economy, and by 1929 US investors has built up nearly 15 billion marks, and Germany was needing to pay that back. It's caused huge unemployment between 1929 and 1933. Employment grew to 6.1 million. It is said to be 1 in 3 people were unemployed in Germany, as they didn't have the availability to have jobs. Now, economy is a huge part in what changes the views of people, especially in politics. And that's not something that we don't see. We see it especially here, you can almost say. But also to look at, during this period, the propaganda is starting to be built up again. After 1927, it was when they were blocked off because of the Munich Putsch. They weren't allowed any public meetings, public holding events until 1927. After that, they were able to go again, and they certainly did. We're going to have a look at some statistics. So we know that hugely there is a problem with the economy, any major problem. People become extreme. They want change and they need it quickly. So the extreme is kind of the only way to get quick and good results, in theory. Hitler's growth is huge and he almost doesn't even have to do anything. It almost sorts its way to mean the votes. I mean, if you know, and people know of your party, you're an extremist party, it's not going to take long for them to understand who you are and that you could, in theory, sort the economy out because you're an extreme group. He does rallies though. He gains that support, not really doing much more than he was before, but the numbers of membership is increasing hugely. In 1930, the NSDAP had 130,000 memberships. Just 2 years later, in 1932, they grew to 450,000 memberships. Not only that, but the SA grew by around 200,000 in 1 year. This growth is not only from the Wall Street crash, but also the unemployment and the public speaking that Hitler gave. It can also be seen in elections in 1931. They had 14.3% of vote. In 1932, they had 37.3%, just 1 year difference, and it's gaining hugely. All of this coming down to being able to bounce off problems around him and everyone else in Germany, and able to manipulate the decisions of people to work his way through. Public speaking, politics, is an incredibly difficult field. But if you know, like Hitler did, how to get on the back of the problems, how to realise that Wall Street crash has occurred, how can I build off of that? That problem solving to make Germany almost his own, he had control of Germany, is truly incredible. And I have to say, Hitler's way of manipulating people and gaining those votes was truly incredible. But that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. That is the end of In-Depth Studies, as I said before. We will be back next week, which will be the new year, 2025. We'll be coming up to our second birthday in April, which is incredible. We will be back next week with a Learn About History episode. We haven't decided what it is yet, but we will be posting very soon on social media, hopefully. Happy New Year! And I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. And I hope you got all the presents that you wished for. Following this will be our news and our social medias, so stick around. But that's it for today. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Our weekly news. Our website has had a bit of a revamp. At the start, we said about the advertising. We've got the Learn More section. We do only have the Civil War. Alaska, the Learn About History episode that came out a while ago now, will be being uploaded onto there. We have to get everything ready behind the scenes, and I was really busy, so that is going to be delayed. But hopefully we'll get it out for the new year. And we will be back next week with another Learn About History. If you do want to have a Learn About History or recommend something or a topic that you want to know more about, please drop us an email at historyrewatch.thepodcast@outlook.com or go to our website www.historyrewatch.com to email us from there. Thank you very much for listening this week, and we will be back next week. Happy New Year.